It's time for the MCTS experience with Mr. Orfe and Mr. Nash. Discover your passion and unlock your future.
Welcome, everybody, to the MCTS Experience podcast. Very, very excited to be joining you today. With me, of course, is my partner in crime, Mr. David Nash. How are you, Nash?
Ahoy, everyone. Nash here. I'm ready to go full force. CTE month. Very excited. Very excited.
CTE month, absolutely. A quick hello to our friend Nick MacGyver-Sikowski behind the board. Looking very much forward to our April 19th hybrid opening. You mentioned CTE month, Mr. Nash. We have a special guest, our Career Success Award winner, and I'll save that announcement for the introduction. Any announcements anything to bring up, Mr. Nash?
Yeah, I mean, this time of the year, we're definitely ramping up for Skills USA, doing virtual contests and a couple of in-persons, culinary and some Cosmos. And then we're working hard to align the stars for our spring, summer internships. Now's the time where instructors really to hear the leads that come from my department, my office, and people seeking to upload their staff. You know, we're seeing a little shift and a little break in the ice in regards to this COVID thing. You know, the trades haven't stopped through this whole process, and
that's right.
Employers are calling us wanting entry-level talent, not in a dead-end job, but in a career that provides upward mobility as well as post-secondary training and opportunity. So we're really focused on that.
Great opportunity to earn while you learn most of these. Yeah,
things. I mean. And even for junior year students or sophomores or even freshmen, I mean, state of New Jersey, kids can legally work at age 14. There's some people, genuinely, I'm not being funny, people forgot about that. You can work simple retail at 14, 15 years old and then maybe go into an internship 16, 17. That's definitely how you get ahead of the competition in this day and age.
I love it. Just also wanted to mention spring break, April 2nd. Through the 9th, with the weekend of the 3rd and 4th and the weekend of the 10th, 11th in there. So nice little break looking on the horizon for our students. Also, if you are taking an online class, if you're taking an Acellus class or an online class that you need for a graduation requirement, whether you're a shared time student from another high school or whether you're one of our full-time students, if you are behind in those classes, it is time to get going. It is time to get on your horse and start riding. Get that work done.
Pay the piper. Pay the piper.
You do not want to be stuck inside when that good weather breaks, having to finish up all these assignments. So look to us if you need some support in those areas. Look to your guidance counselors and your building leaders. And with that said, are you ready for today, Mr. Nash?
Look, I love doing the podcast for real, but I really pumped on this. I'm not going to reveal it till it's time, but we've got a powerhouse show today.
Yes, sir. We just had our general advisory meeting, our February general advisory meeting, and we presented this young person with her Career Success Award. She's our 2021 winner. We'll be back with our featured guest right after this.
Hey, you, come here. Check it out. They're in our school. They're in our community. They're around the corner. Welcome, our featured guest.
Welcome back, everybody. Very, very excited to have a truly special featured guest with us.
Powerhouse.
Superstar. Ninja. This is, please welcome Bethany Andrade Siddiqu. And Bethany is a graduate of Mercer County Technical School's Business Tech program in 2003. We're going to put some gasoline in the Wayback Machine, Mr. Nash. And she has gone on to some really, really, really cool things. And if you don't mind me continuing to yak, well, first of all, welcome, Bethany.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
As a little special side treat for you, we've got the school social worker from the SIPEC Center who was maybe mid-career back when you were coming here, Mr. Lance Simic. Hi, Simic. How are you, buddy?
Doing wonderful, guys. Thanks for having me as well.
It's awesome. Orf, this is very interesting. Simic on a podcast, we love it. And Simic is a rock star in MCTS folklore, 100%, as well as Bethany. So this is powerhouse special guest.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, and without embarrassing you too much, Bethany, so Bethany is a recipient of this year's Career Success Award, and we were lucky enough to have her be able to attend our general advisory meeting where we present that award. And Mr. Simic presented her with it, so it was really, really nice, a nice moment, kind of like old home week. Bethany, if you don't mind me embarrassing you just a little bit, I would just like to let everybody know that you're a consultant with the New Jersey Office of Early Childhood Services. You work for Housing Initiatives of Princeton, and recently this year you've helped a lot of families, specifically ones that are affected by COVID, but just in general, the work that you do as a MSW social worker is really, really nice, and we appreciate you. So, do you mind telling us a little bit about yourself and your family and what you've been doing for the last 13, 17, 18 years?
Okay, now I officially feel old.
No.
That last part did not need to be added.
Bethany, age is a state of mind. State of mind.
I guess so. And I will make a correction, Mike, when you said Lance was mid career. I would say that he probably just finished his internship when we.
I was trying to make him feel a little bit older.
Bethany, Mr. Green Jeans. He had his green jeans on.
Yeah. And I will say, although at that time I was still in high school, I coached him along and I helped him,
And she did.
Yeah,
Dude,
we
awesome.
did a lot of practice counseling and all of that. But yeah, now this is great. I'm excited to be on the podcast. And yeah, just to give a little bit of myself, grew up in Princeton, attended Princeton High. Actually, Mr. Simic was the first person that I saw at Princeton High in the cafeteria at a table, possibly with cookies. I don't know. I think there was something that pulled me and my friends. Yeah.
With Mr. Murphy.
Yeah. So a long time ago. I know he doesn't do that so much anymore, but yeah, so that's kind of how it all started, is really just going up to that table, grabbing some cookies or something and having a conversation and finding out the amazing programs that Mercer Tech has to offer. And to be honest, the thing that really pushed me over the edge to be a part of the business systems program was I think it was 3 credits at that time that could go towards your college credits. And that was actually also the selling point to tell my mom and dad, because, them growing up in the 60s, there's a lot of stigma around tech schools. And, if you go to tech schools, then that doesn't mean that, that means you're not going to go to college, and so me telling them that this is different, that the programs that they offer are innovative and diverse, really made them feel comfortable and confident to send me. And plus, I really wasn't taking no for an answer. So that also, so I'm like, listen, this is what I want to do. And so that's that. But yeah, just going through the Mercer County Tech program, meeting wonderful teachers and the administrative team and, students in my class that I'm still friends and close with to this day has been life-changing. And so fast forward, I got my master's in social work from Mom's University, which I mainly attribute to my mom, who's also in the world of social work, but also to Mr. Simic too, rightfully so, because just witnessing how he was connecting with kids and changing lives little by little really just was the guiding force for me to want to do the same. And so now I work for the state of New Jersey full-time as a program manager, overseeing our maternal health programs throughout the state. And then I also do social work consulting for Housing Initiatives of Princeton that really connects those families that have been impacted by COVID, that have lost jobs, that have lost their homes, with affordable housing in Princeton. And so that gig kind of brought me back full circle, because one of the families that we're working with, the teenage son actually attends Mercer Tech schools. And so I was a part of a team meeting trying to get him back in gear, so to speak. So it was just great to bring it all full circle and reconnect with the wonderful folks at Mercer Tech.
Excellent. Really, really cool. Mr. Simic, give us some memories. What were your impressions of Bethany back in the day? Could you see all of this in her future back then? Did you know she was going to be such a high achieving, dynamic person?
Yeah, no doubt. Bethany had a knack for very observant. She would not get caught up in any drama, and could be lots of drama. If I'm not mistaken, your class was full of females at one point in time, right?
Mm-hmm.
You had a way of not getting caught up in the drama, which was wonderful. I also remember you and I having conversations, and you were kind of in awe or amazed that I could handle and deal with certain behaviors of kids at that particular time. You left a statement on your picture that you left me on my wall about dealing with some difficult situations. I still have that picture on my wall from 2003. Yes, that was the beginning stages of my career at SciPec. But Bethany definitely stood out. Cool, calm, collected, always poised, organized. I forgot about meeting you at Princeton at your high school, though. I forgot about that. But yes, I did used to go out with do some recruitment, and it was the old school days. So we would set up in the cafeteria and give out cookies and candy. And I remember not wanting to leave Princeton because you had like a 2-hour like lunch break, and it was like a festival. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Oh, this is nice. Yeah. I didn't want to leave. Yeah.
Yeah. Princeton's a different type of school, which in some ways almost poises Princeton students to be able to be in a Mercer Tech school, because we do not, they don't believe in locked doors. We do have an extended break period where the students can sit outside and roam around the school. There's really no restrictions. And they do that because they're trying to prepare folks for college, and having that level of freedom gives them the opportunity to be more responsible. But yeah, so to anybody else coming in, it's like, wait, what is going on? Kids sitting in the hallway, there's kids like, everywhere. But yeah, so it's, but I do think that Princeton really prepares you for a school like Mercer County Tech, just because of the structure of the school itself.
That's such an interesting point to hear you bring up, Bethany, and the fact that it's like a prep school / junior college, and how many people wouldn't believe, and I'm not saying it because I work here, I felt the same way about the freedom when I was a kid at the district 10, 12 years prior to you coming. And to me, I was like, wait a minute, we're here for a reason and a purpose, and this is something unique, and I like this learning environment. And it's interesting to hear you, a person who was, say, 10, 15 years down the line, experience that same thing close to 20 years ago, and we're thriving in that now, right, Orf? I mean,
absolutely.
I mean, it's really cool. It's almost like an overlay of answering the question that we're hoping to build, and you're doing that right now as a person who's lived life, and it's so wonderful to hear you say that. So thank you.
Yeah, of course.
So Bethany, when you did apply, did you know back then? Did you know when you were like a sophomore at Princeton High School applying to the tech school? Did you know that this is what you wanted to do? That you wanted to become a social worker at that point, that early on?
No, I didn't. I actually wanted to go to school for business.
Okay.
And I really didn't have an interest in being in the world of social work or social services or anything, because my mom had been in it. And, at a teenage years, you're just like, you want to do everything opposite of what you're and she would drag me to health fairs, and because she really wanted me to be involved, and, it was great, to get community service credit, but I really didn't want to do that. So that's why the business systems program was something that, attracted me. But I will, and this is just another thing too, for kids that do want to go off to college, going to the tech schools gives you an opportunity to explore possibilities. I think a lot of times people think you have to go to college to do that. And by the time I got to college, many of my other classmates had changed their degree paths multiple times because the first time even figuring out or even thinking about what they wanted to do in the future. I already went in knowing I did not want to do business. Like that was one thing that I learned. I was like, I don't want to just be in an office space and all of that. And so, I went to history and then I went into sociology. But the point is that I didn't lose a lot of time and I didn't lose a lot of credits because of my opportunity of being a part of the tech school system and really having the chance to be out there in the world of business. And then the other piece of that is not just like the in-class learning, but I forget what it's called, but when you guys allow us to actually work.
Oh yeah. That's my wheelhouse. That's CIE.
That's Nash's domain. CIE.
Yes. So the other cool thing is that the business program at that time was included in that. And so my mom had a friend who owned her own business. And so I actually worked with her, and it was really cool because it wasn't like, oh, I'm just working at like any job. It was working with somebody that was an entrepreneur, which is at that time was what I wanted to do. And so, it was great. It was fun. But again, I realized, what, this just really isn't for me right now. So yeah, that's another added bonus.
It's really cool. I would also, sorry. I would just also point out that I imagine, Bethany, that a lot of the skills that you learn in that class, even though you didn't ultimately go into the business world, there's computer stuff, there's office stuff, there's all those soft skills, talking to people, interacting with people, and you're going to get a lot of that in all of the programs. All our teachers work with the students on a resume and how to apply for a job, how to look a grown up in the eye, and all those things. So it's pretty cool. Good for you.
Yeah,
go ahead, Nash. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
What I was going to say was you had success in two major areas, and this is what we really share and believe in our hearts as a family and as a team with every student, whether it's blue collar, white collar, entrepreneurial, academy, you name it. Guys and girls that come to us, they sought us out, they take a shot, that leap of faith. I love how you said that, because that's really what it feels like when you decide to come here, and they come alive and they thrive. And then this is the part that blows a lot of kids' minds and parents' minds too. They come, they're super passionate. They're interested in what they're studying. They go out on co-op. They immerse themselves in a career. I love what you said. It wasn't just some job. I was doing what I was studying, which again, normally reserved for a sophomore, junior in college. We're doing that now. And they found out they didn't like it. And kids are blown out of the water when I go, I'm happy if you go out and give it your best and you figure out this isn't for you. That is such a win. That changed your trajectory in a way where you're doing what you love and what you need to do. And that really is career fulfillment. And that's what we believe genuinely. And once kids embrace that and parents embrace that, the sky's the limit. So whether a kid gets his first internship and it turns into a career that lasts 20, 15 years, or they try it out and they go, no, I don't want to do this. Both are wins in our standards. So it's so neat to hear you being out away from us for 20 years and realizing that. It's amazing.
Oh yeah, definitely. And also just reflection of once you're an adult and you have real responsibilities in a family, taking those leaps of faith become a lot more difficult because you have to be responsible, and you end up maybe stuck in a position that you don't love and doesn't bring you any type of level of joy. But you have to do what you have to do because you're there. But being a high school student where you still have the protections of your parents, and if it doesn't work out, oh well, having the opportunity to do that is it's invaluable.
Simic, final thoughts. Let's hear a memory of Bethany or a parting words of wisdom. What do you got to say?
I was just going to say, because it's interesting, because Beth was talking about how you wanted business, and I went to college as a business major because I didn't have any experience in business prior to in high school. So I went off to college as a business major, and that lasted all of one semester. And I lost about $15,000 because I decided I'm going to change my major. But I heard you say sociology, and that's what my bachelor's degree was, in sociology, before I went on and got my master's in social work. So we kind of took a similar path.
Oh, that's so
so it seems like
really cool.
Yeah. So I didn't know if you knew that part about me with the sociology, but I wish we had a school full of Bethany's. Never an issue. You always knew what you were going to get with her. Consistent, I could sit here all day and say a lot of great positive adjectives about her, but the biggest one to me was she was compassionate, caring, and that obviously that's how she wound up helping people in the helping field. And I'm not surprised, even though you told me that you didn't want to follow your mother's footsteps, which I do recall. But everybody's path is a little different. But you got here, and students are benefiting from it. People are benefiting from you being in this field. So I'm very proud of you.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Siddiqu.
Two final things, Bethany. I very quickly, I want to just give a plug to Zoe's Village. Do you mind? Is there a website or something that people can go to?
Yeah, so we actually are in the process of developing a website. The actual certification of it becoming a foundation just went through this month. So
Yay.
It's so fresh. But we've been doing the donation for 3 years.
Yes.
And so, but Zoe's Village is a foundation, a family-run foundation that my husband and I started as an opportunity to give back to babies and families that have kids in the NICU at Capitol Health Hospital in Hopewell in Mercer County. And our daughter, Zoe, was born premature and spent 45 days in the NICU. And, through that experience, we were really wrapped with love and prayers and encouragement from our friends and family. But I witnessed that a lot of other families were struggling. Whether they couldn't take off of work, or if they did, they lost money to go see their kids in the hospital. There was one family in particular that was actually homeless, that had a premature baby, and they were sleeping there at the hospital. And then, of course, just your average mom that's just struggling, or dad that's just struggling with the fact that their kids are in the hospital. So it's the whole gambit. It's not just about helping folks that are, low income or anything like that. It's just about helping families in general, because it's just tough for everybody to see their child in the hospital. And so every year on Valentine's Day for the last 3 years, we put together what we call blessing bags, which are bags full of diapers and baby's essentials and cute clothing and gift cards and words of encouragement. And this year in particular, we were highlighted by Capitol Health on their social media outlets, and connected with the director of development and the parent advocate. And that's really what prompted us to take this to a more formal level, which is creating a foundation.
Outstanding. Really beautiful, Bethany. Thank you. Thanks for sharing that with us too. In closing, if you have you're you now, and you're looking back, and it's not you in 2003, but you're talking now to a person your age, from whether it's Princeton or Ewing or Hamilton or Trenton or Hopewell, wherever. You got any thoughts? What would you say to somebody considering coming to MCTS?
I think I'll just go back to what I said before. Take that leap of faith. Don't worry about if your friends are doing it too. Don't worry about if you'll make friends. Don't, even if, you don't know the teachers, or it's in a different town, or how my parents will feel. Really just, if you have it on your heart, like something's just tugging on you, like, I just want to try this out, go for it. Because you're at the age where you can just jump, and I think too many kids don't jump because they're nervous or they're concerned what their parents or friends or whatever will say. I mean, don't jump into something that's dangerous, but at school, you know what I'm saying? You can jump, even if you get full support of everybody. And to that point, I think kids are more likely to jump into things that aren't really super safe, and then something that could really benefit them, they're more apprehensive about. So take that leap of faith. The good thing is that, one, it's not forever. Two, if you feel like it's not for you, you can always just not do it. But I will say this, if you start to feel like it's not for you, please talk to people like Mr. Siddiqu and everybody else that's on this podcast and the whole entire team at Mercer Tech, because just talk to them first, because I do feel like sometimes kids feel like it's not meant for them, or they start to disengage and they don't give it a true shot and they don't allow themselves to speak to somebody that can maybe help them along, change the situation for them, or make it a little bit easier. So, but yeah, I'll just go back to take the leap of faith, try it out, and it may change your life.
Excellent. Well said, Bethany. We're glad you took that leap of faith. And we're really glad you joined us today. Thank you so much, and lots of luck and best wishes to you in the future and your family.
Thank
ladies
you.
and
This
gentlemen,
is fun.
good. Thank you for joining us. Mr. Simic, Bethany, Mr. Nash, Nick MacGyver-Siddiqu will be right back with some final thoughts. Holy smokes, what a fantastic episode of the MCTS experience, Nash. Nash, I don't know, I got some goosebumps there. What a dynamic person this Bethany was. And we got a little glimpse of Simic on here too. That was pretty sweet.
We captured the unicorn known as Simic. He loves to be in person. He does not like to be on the podcast, but and you wouldn't know that about Mr. Simic. But truth be told, he struggles with public speaking. He openly admits he does not enjoy it, but he nailed it. And it was really neat to hear from Bethany and just, a slice of CTE school back when it was in its more raw form. And just echoing the same reality that we know today in 2021 back in 2003. It's really, that to me was really exciting.
Incredible, actually. A great example of what you can do with the foundations that you get here at MCTS. So good for her, and good for, I dare say, good for us. We can count her in the win column for Mercer County Technical School.
100%, and for her to change lives like she's doing and like so many of our graduates do, that's what drives us as a family, as a team, and as a school.
Absolutely. Stay tuned for future episodes of the MCTS experience. Got another one coming for you very, very soon. Listen to this podcast on Spotify, Google Play, iTunes. Share it with a friend, like it, and also check out the Principal's Office podcast on those same platforms. Another great way to get some news and updates on all the goings on at MCTS. Please go to our website, especially if you have not yet applied or you have a friend who you think would be a good fit here. Get them on our website, mcts.edu. Tell them to apply right away because programs are filling up. Finally, like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Check out that YouTube channel. Great videos always. And stay tuned also for pop-up classes, the live stream classes taught by each of our instructors. Once a week, Nash, we got a different person coming on at 2:30, giving a hands-on lesson to students and parents.
To me, now's the time to really take that leap of faith. Like I'm stealing that tag phrase. Bethany, you patented it. You came up with it, but that really is how students feel before they come here, and then the fulfillment they feel. So, hey, if you're thinking about it, take that leap of faith because we're here to catch you and to watch you excel when we throw you back up in the air. So,
a perfect way to go out. Yeah, leap of faith. Take it, folks. And on behalf of myself and my partner, Mr. Dave Nash, and behind the boards, Nick MacGyver-Siddiqu, this is Mr. Orfe and Mr. Nash reminding you to discover your passion
and unlock your future.